Hello everyone, welcome to Rubber Industry NewsHour. This is a weekly news program for the rubber industries. I welcome you all for the edition number 4. Today is the date 7th February 2022. I welcome you all for this program. As you know, this is a TechnoBiz initiative. I'll just give you some, highlights about what kind of information we cover in this program. We have business trends, technology trends, research trends, and also education, tips and tricks, NR market review, opportunities, business profiles, and buyer guide. We may not cover everything in every edition, but this is a broad, focus about the rubber industry NewsHour. It's a weekly program on every Monday. That is the schedule of this program. I would like to thank our partners, okay, Rubber World Magazine and also Rubber and Tire Digest Magazine. Of course, I have these Rubber and Tire Digest Magazine is a joint publication of TechnoBiz and Rubber World. Both magazines are free to subscribe for the digital edition. Please visit their website, rubberworld.com, and also rubbertiredigest.com. You get a lot of technical information, useful information for the rubber industries. Also TechnoBiz channel, which we use for marketing the program, and also we have a rubber industry network. We have both the LinkedIn page and also WhatsApp group, and I have a Facebook group called Rubber Technologies Global Network. So these are the partner which we use this platform to promote the rubber industry news. So we're thankful to each one of you, and also a lot of well-wishers, friends, part of this program. Behind the scene, a lot of people help is there. So I'm thankful to all of you, each one of you supporting this rubber industry NewsHour. Let me give you an overview about TechnoBiz. As you know, this program is owned and managed by TechnoBiz. Some of you may be new to the TechnoBiz, or some of you may heard about TechnoBiz, don't know what are the details. So I'm going to run a short video about the TechnoBiz, which gives you the overview about the TechnoBiz activities. Please stand by. Okay, that's about the TechnoBiz, and I'm hoping that you get some idea what activities we are doing and what kind of services and we're supporting for the rubber industry. Welcome you all for this today's session, Rubber Industry News Hour, for edition number 4, and we are having various speakers today. Mr. Jom Jacob is a rubber industry analyst with a huge experience on natural rubber market, so he'll be giving on the natural rubber market review. We have Mr. E. Palanathan. He's an experienced rubber technologist. He's giving tips and tricks focusing on the FKM rubber compounding, FKM rubber compounding. And we have a special program today. We have education side. We're introducing a program at the MIT World Peace University, MSc in Industrial Polymer Chemistry. The head of the department, Dr. Wasi Sheikh, he will be talking about the program, MSc program. And then we have a researcher session from the Germany. Dr. Amit Das is a scientist at the Leibniz Institute for Polymer Research. He'll be talking about the smart materials and sustainable materials for the rubber products. So these are the main highlights today. So I want you, all of you, stay on to the end. A lot of interesting information. And before we end, we also have some what kind of job opportunities are available, what we know. I'm also sharing that information at the end of this session today. So I welcome you all. So let's get to the first topic. We're going to the rubber industry market review. I'd like to invite Mr. Jom Jacob. As all of you know, he's specialized in the natural rubber markets. He will be giving on the weekly review on the markets. Mr. Jom, sir, welcome in.
Welcome to NR market review, natural rubber market review. Just have a quick review of the developments in the natural rubber markets world over during last week. Last week, the major importance observation was the total absence of China from the physical markets, and during whole week, the Shanghai trading on Shanghai futures market was not there. So that was major important observation regarding previous week. Shanghai market is very important in influencing the prices both in the futures and physical world over. Shanghai market was closed totally last week, and China physical market is also very important because China is accounting 43% of the world demand for natural rubber. So China's absence was the major important observation regarding last week. At the same time, when we look into the supply side, supply was low due to what is called a seasonal shortage of supply due to wintering of rubber trees. After the leaf falling season, it is a season of a refoliation of or young leaves coming. So during that time, farmers usually give tapping layoff, and because of that, supply entered into a low phase season world over. And another major development which had an indirect influence on natural rubber markets was the abnormal increase. I would say abnormal increase in the crude oil markets. Brent crude oil reached around $95 per barrel, and according to players in the markets, it can reach around $100 per barrel. So that is when when crude oil market increases, normally the investors in speculative investors will speculate on possible substitution from crude oil derived synthetic rubber to natural rubber. They speculate in that way, even though the actual extent of substitution is limited. Speculators will work on that. Not only that, crude oil price has negative implication also, because crude oil, tire industry as well as other end products, rubber end products, heavily depends on not only crude oil-based raw material. So this is also important. In that way, crude oil has both negative and positive implications on natural rubber demand as well as market sentiment. Then another major factor which dominated market sentiment during last week was the concern on imminent rate hike, means an interest rate hike by central banks, especially US Federal Reserve and the central banks in advanced countries, European Union as well as UK. So players in the market are expecting some kind of a higher interest rates. In higher interest rate means that borrowing cost is going to be higher. In borrowing cost is higher means speculative investments, the return from speculative investment will be less attractive once borrowing cost is higher. Another major development was the dollar. Dollar staying strong is not good for commodities, and natural rubber is no exception. Dollar stayed strong during last week as we expected. Then another major observation, major important development that dominated market sentiment during last week, not only rubber, it also dominated the sentiment. The equity market was the geopolitical tension centered on the US-Russia relationship, or the friction between US and Russia over Ukraine. And this geopolitical tension stayed elevated during last week. And whenever there is some kind of geopolitical tension, so what speculative investors will be, they would prefer to stay away from speculative investment during uncertainties. So this was another important factor. And last week we predicted that the physical markets, physical prices of natural rubber will be marginally higher because physical market will be getting strong support from seasonal low supply of natural rubber. But we expected prices not to gain substantially because of the various negative sentiments, especially the geopolitical tension centered over US-Ukraine or the US-Russia issue over Ukraine. So that means that even if prices can go, physical market conditions are favorable, gains would be limited because of the geopolitical tension and other factors impacting on the market sentiment. So we expect, that was our expectation. And also we expected that latex price would be performing better relative to TSR, because latex price is performing better because of related to TSR. We expected because during the low supply season, latex processing industry, latex processes every year during this particular season, they offer a premium price to ensure that raw material or fresh latex is easily available. That means that if they offer a premium price for fresh latex, farmers will be encouraged to sell the produce in the form of fresh latex rather than selling the produce in the form of coupling, which is easier for them. So these were the development last week, and our expectation was marginal increase in physical market during the last week. Let us see how the market performed during last week. When we look into the futures market, as I mentioned before, Shanghai market was totally closed. There was no trading on the Shanghai Futures Exchange, so there is no Shanghai market. There was no Shanghai market last week. And Psycho Singapore Exchange TSR 20 averaged 0.4% higher during last week compared to a week before. It's marginally higher as we rightly expected. And at Osaka market, Osaka Futures Exchange RSS3 averaged 2.4% higher compared to a week before. When we go into the physical markets, around 70% of the global production is processed and traded in the form of TSR, and TSR 20 is the most prominent or most popular traded form of natural rubber in the world markets. We have two important markets for TSR. One is TSR Bangkok, which is traded in the form of STR 20. STR 20 last week averaged 0.5% higher during last week compared to a week before, means marginally higher compared to a week before, rightly in the way we expected. And when we look into SMR 20, Malaysia, Standard Malaysian Rubber, which is another important market for SMR, for TSR, averaged 0.2% higher last week compared to a week before. So that there is also marginal increase. When we look into RSS, there are two important markets. One is RSS3 Bangkok FOB. Bangkok FOB RSS averaged 1.9% higher during last week compared to a week before. And another important market for RSS is RSS for India or Kottayam markets in India, averaged 2.5% higher during last week compared to a week before. And latex, we specifically mentioned last week that latex price will be rolling relatively better than TSR. So when we look into Bangkok market STR20, that means a TSR, average only 0.5% higher compared to a previous week. But in the case of latex Bangkok, latex market average 4.8% higher during last week compared to a week before. That means latex price significantly performed significantly higher compared to STR20 in the same market. We rightly expected that in the last week. And in Kuala Lumpur market SMR20 average only 0.2% higher. SMR20 average 0.2%, means a standard SMR20 TSR grade in Kuala Lumpur market. But the same market, means Kuala Lumpur itself, latex price averaged 2.2% higher compared last week compared to a week before. That means we made two important predictions. Marginal increase in rubber price during last week, it happened in that way. Also, we predicted latex performing relatively better compared to TSR20. That also happened exactly what we mentioned. Looking ahead, so tomorrow the Shanghai market is going to open after staying closed for around from 31st of, or maybe after 28th of January, closing for a long remaining closed for a long period, and tomorrow Shanghai market is going to be open. So two investors will be looking into Shanghai market in two ways. One, seasonal short supply. Physical market conditions are favorable for our price to stay high. So physical market condition is favorable. At the same time, there are a number of factors which are potentially weighing down sentiments in the market. Major one is a geopolitical tension, as I mentioned before. Then dollar staying elevated, staying strong. And at the same time, we have issues like what is called other issues, for example, interest rate going up, borrowing costs going up. So these negative factors will be there. So investors in speculative markets, they have two, one, physical market conditions favorable, at the same time they have unfavorable condition. So how Shanghai market is going to perform when it is opening tomorrow is a little bit uncertainty. We have to wait and see. But we have two important observations. One, physical market condition is favorable, and the physical market is going to get strong support from seasonal short supply. Seasonal short supply during the coming week or this week will be, the shortage in supply will be more severe compared to the 1 week before. Means more farmers have stopped tapping, and we have the supply is getting, the shortage of supply is going to be a little bit more reflected in the market in the coming week. So this is a positive factor in the coming week. But at the same time, the market sentiment in the market will be weighed down by various, I would like to say, non-rubber factors. Means several factors which are not directly related to rubber. So various external factors are likely to weigh down market sentiment, especially the sentiment in the futures markets, and that may be having some implications on the physical market, implications on putting it the coming week. We can expect physical market gaining further strength next week, but the gains will be limited because of the negative sentiments from non-rubber factors or factors which are external to the rubber sector. That's all for the outlook for next week. Thank you very much. We will see you again next week at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. John Jacob. That's about the natural rubber market review. I'm hoping that you find it useful. I'd like to introduce to all of you this rubber industry buyer guide, which is basically a platform for the companies to introduce and brand themselves. We have made a video on the various companies and their logos and what kind of services they're providing. You can download this whole presentation in the handout panel. If you look at the handout panel on the screen, there is a section you can download PDF copies, you can download it. Okay, let me introduce our rubber industry buyer guide for this edition. You can contact these companies for any additional support you need, or if you're looking for, products or technologies or chemicals, you review through this rubber industry buyer guide. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, that's the rubber industry buyer guide. I'm thankful to all the companies who are supporting this buyer guide. Big support for this rubber industry NewsHour program. Guys, if you're interested in any of their services, you can contact them. I do encourage again to download the document if you're interested to contact them. Okay, next is rubber industry education. This is a new addition to the program, but actually it's not really new, but we put it as a rubber industry education, which is very important for the rubber industry, for the skill development. In this program today, this year, this edition, we're introducing a special and unique program, MSc in Industrial Polymer Chemistry. This program is offered by the MIT World Peace University in Pune, in Maharashtra. And we have a Dr. Wasi Sheikh, he's a professor and is also head of the department for this program, Industrial Polymer Chemistry. I invite him to introduce this program for the rubber industry fraternity so that, you know, any of the students who want to join in the future or industry want to get connected. So I welcome Dr. Wasi Sheikh to come forward and to make a short presentation. The first. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I welcome you all for this episode of Rubber Industry News Hour by TechnoBiz. Let me introduce this unique program at MIT World Peace University. This program is known as MSc Industrial Polymer Chemistry. And I think from the name itself, you will understand we have given a lot of industrial importance to this program called Industrial Polymer Chemistry program. So this is a very beautiful picturesque campus in Pune, in the heart of the city of Pune. This is the university, MIT World Peace University. I will not go into the history of our university, but this is not a new university. It has a legacy of 4 decades. We started in 1983, and right now we are having more than 5 universities all over India. And to mention something about polymers, we have polymer engineering department right from the inception of this university. Under this program, we cover various sectors. So, for example, automotive sector, paint sector, textile, home appliances and electronics, furnishing, medical, space, defense. So almost everything, tires and rubber industries, adhesives, packaging, agriculture, biomedical, construction, toys, and so many other plastic usage in our day-to-day life. So what is so special about polymer chemistry? So polymer chemistry is a very important branch of chemistry because it tells us about the structure property relationship. And once you understand the structure property relationship, it is very easy for us to design new material. And we have seen that there is a spectacular growth of polymer industry during last several years, more than at an average rate of more than 8.5%. So technological advancements are taking place almost every day. And requirement for new material is arising because of new applications, and that's the reason why there's a need of expert manpower. And based on that only, we thought of starting this program called MSc Industrial Polymer Chemistry. So what are the unique features? How this program is different from other MSc or PG programs in chemistry? So basically, it is a blend of science and engineering. What happens generally in science programs is that engineering or industry importance is not given much, but we have decided that we'll be having industry or engineering orientation to this program. So that's the reason why we give hands-on training on machines to our students. We have various MOUs and collaborations with various industries. Industry live project, when industry is having small problems, those problems are shared with us and we work on that problem, and students are working on that problem for almost 6 months. Industry internship is given to the students, that is compulsory for 3 months, so that the student becomes industry ready. Most of the times it happens like industry use the internship, industry observes their performance, and finally they recruit them as a in the industry. Then paid internship possibilities are there. Scholarships are given to the students. I will be detailing about scholarship in next few slides. And one more very important thing is that syllabus is always made in consultation with industry. We have board of studies where industry people are invited, and we discuss the things with industry, and then only we decide the syllabus. At least one paper, one course is taught by international faculty every year. Lectures are given by industry experts, alumni, emeritus scientists and professors. Industry exhibitions and visits are very common for us. Then soft skill training is given to the students for their better placement possibilities. Foreign language is given free of cost. I mean, it is a part of their syllabus, so they get to learn at least one foreign language. Apart from that, they are required to undergo or earn one certificate under MOOC courses. So that is another, because everything cannot be covered in syllabus, so they are free to choose any certificate course of their choice and learn it. Then participation in conferences, workshops and other competitions is a must for them. Research projects are carried out in national labs like NCL or DIIT, Defense Institute of Advanced Technology. Another important point here is continuously updated education. Why it is so is because generally what happens is most of the universities do not update their syllabus for 3 years or 5 years. But in our case, in our university, we have free hand to update the syllabus whenever there is a need to update the syllabus. So mentor-mentee program is there. Peace subjects. This is something unique about MIT World Peace University. So just now in earlier talk, Mr. Jacob was talking about the unrest, geopolitical unrest. So peace is very much required, not only at the geopolitical level. Inner peace is also very important, and that's why we take care of this peace subjects in the syllabus. Rural immersion program. This is something very unique, and you may not find it anywhere else. So in rural immersion program, what we do is we send our students to some rural places, some villages. Students stay there for at least around 1 week. They try to understand the problem of rural people, villagers, and come back to university. They try to find out some solution. Maybe they can do some innovations. They can think over the problems, and they work on that problem and try to find out some solutions to this. The problem may not be from chemistry point of view. Problem may not be only from our views. It can be a interdisciplinary research, because this is a very big university, so we can have collaboration with other departments. We have engineering, we have medicine, we have law. Every department is there on campus, and we collaborate with them, and that's how we can come out with some solution. Then what are the career options after you do MSc in industrial polymer chemistry? So you can choose any one of the sector like plastic, paints, rubbers, textile, adhesives, composite, packaging. So what are the roles offered by industry? So you can become a chemist, technologist. I will not go read everything, but this is a representative slide through which you can understand. Then you can go into R&D field, you can go into teaching field, you can appear for competitive exams for higher education maybe. Then you can do PhD from very reputed institutes or foreign universities. And finally, last but not the least, it is a startup and entrepreneurship. So you can start your own business after gaining some experience. So how is the campus life? So you can just have a look through these pictures and you will understand how vibrant our campus is. So we give importance to the overall development of our students. So various activities, competitions are taking place on campus. For example, this is a racing car. Now you may think that this racing car is a job of mechanical engineering students or automobile engineering students, but it is not so. They are taking our help also to design this material, and because they have so many limitations while designing this car. Similarly, we have robotics competition, national level and international level. We are the host for that. Then a very big Bharatiya Chhatra Samsad, the convention of students, almost 5,000 to 7,000 students from all over India and abroad attend this function called Bharatiya Chhatra Samsad. This is a beautiful auditorium that we have on campus for our students. So many other extracurricular activities, sport activities are happening on campus. Then As far as infrastructure and hands-on training is concerned, even though, as I said, this is MSc program for science background students, we provide training on machines to these students. So various engineering machines they are operating, and that makes them industry ready, because once they go to industry, they are not afraid of operating the machines. So this is a chemistry lab, polymer chemistry lab. So let us talk about what is the course content. So in first trimester, we talk about organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, physical chemistry, because this is a base. So we have to be very giving justice to these subjects. But apart from that, in blue color, you can see these are the core subjects for polymer chemistry. So fundamental of polymer science. Then laboratory sessions are given a lot of importance. And the last here, he is world famous philosophers, sages, saints, and great kings. So this is a part of our peace studies. So this paper is given in the first trimester itself. Then in second trimester, again, general chemistry, and then advanced polymer chemistry. Polymer industries, feedstock and sustainability, then again laboratory, and then this MOOC course that I talked about, that is certification program. Then everywhere you'll see that this blue color is core subject, so polymer physics, structure, property, relationship. Then rubber and elastomer science, specifically for this program organized by TechnoBiz, I'm mentioning this. We have rubber related subjects here. We have one more rubber related subject. These are compulsory subjects, and after that a student can take elective also, he can take internship also, he can take a project in rubbers, and that is how he can specialize himself in the field of rubber. Similarly, he can take other subjects also. So we have seminars, because we have seen that some of the students are not able to speak in front of audience, so we make them ready to speak in front of audience, and that's how they are they're able to present their views. So lab course for polymer analysis. So I'll not again go into the details of everything. This peace subject is their study of languages, peace in communication, and human dynamics. And this is something important, open elective, which is on the in the fourth trimester. This open elective is about the student can select any elective for that particular trimester from any of the courses running on the campus. For example, if he is interested in computer science, for example, so he can elect, he can take that elective from computer science or computer engineering. Suppose he likes law, or suppose he wants to do something in arts, so he can opt for that elective, because that is open elective. Then in fifth trimester, research project is given. As I said, this research project is done on campus. At the same time, they are sent to national laboratories like NCL or DIIT or CIMET. Then one research methodology paper is also there, how to carry out the research. Then seminar 2 is there, MOOC 2 is there, philosophy of science and religion and spirituality. This is another piece subject. Last but not the least is the sixth trimester, where industry internship is there. This is compulsory. So every student undergoes 3 months internship either in research lab or in industry. And research project continues from the fifth trimester to sixth trimester. And finally, he can submit his research project in the sixth trimester. Now, I will not go into the details of rubber and elastomer science, but you can just have a look at the content of this paper that we have. So this is one paper that is compulsory. We have one more paper, that is rubber compounding and product development. And this paper is taught by someone who has more than 25 to 30 years of experience in rubber industry. So skill-based activities and certification courses are there. So say, for example, National Study Tour, then MOOC courses, Rural Immersion Program, Peace Program, and project competitions or conferences, workshops. So these are some of the industries, relevant industries where students can get jobs. So paint industries are there, several paint industries, fiber and textile industries, adhesives and sealants, tire industry, plastic and rubber industry, automotive industry. So everywhere we know that we have applications of polymers. Now coming to very important point of this introduction of this program is like we have a very good backing by some industry. Say, for example, I have not mentioned everybody and everything here. For example, Oriental Rubber Company, which is headed by Mr. Vikram Mathur. So they have certified, not really in the sense of certification, but they have supported this program. They have liked this program very much, and they are our mentors. And we take lot of help from them whenever we need any kind of guidance. We take help from persons like Mr. Vikram Makar, then Mr. Sudhir Pitre. He's a director, technical director at Garware Bestridge. So these are the people. They are on their toes to help us anytime whenever we need their help. Similarly, not only industry background people, but we also have academicians, we also have scientists. Say, for example, Dr. Maldar, he's a former vice chancellor of Solapur University, and he himself has done a PhD in polymer chemistry. Dr. Prakash Vadgaonkar, he's a emeritus scientist at National Chemical Laboratory. So they are always there to help us. And one more very important person on our advisory board is Dr. Raghunath A. Mashelkar, Padma Vibhushan, eminent scientist, former DG of CSIR. And apart from that, as I mentioned, Dr. N.N. Maldar, Dr. C.V. Rode, he is one of the 2% scientists in the world, top scientists. Then Dr. Suvarna Kulkarni, he is IIT Bombay Associate Professor. Dr. Atul Killedar, he is a manager with Vishay Components India Limited. And I mentioned about Mr. Sudhir Pitre. So this is our second year. So first batch will be out, and we still have 4, 5 or 6 months to go. But before that, our students are very well placed in very good industries. For example, these 2 students are placed in Kingfa. This is Future Market Insight company, and this student Dudip Gogoi, who is from Assam, he has got placed in one company called as Polymerize. It's a startup in Singapore. So these are some of the companies, those who have come for campus selection this year. And the process is still going on. So to come to the end of this introduction of this program, MSc IPC is a 2-year full-time program. Eligibility is BSc Chemistry. It can be any branch of chemistry, but you need to have at least 50% marks. So selection criteria is academic credentials are given 50% weightage, and personal interviews given 50% weightage. Why personal interviews given 50% weightage is because we want to see the capability of that student to complete this program with success. Then fees is around 85,000 rupees. So it can be paid in 2 installments. Installment 1 is of 60,000 and installment 2 is of 35,000. Intake is just 24. But still we are getting lot of inquiries after filling all 24 seats. Application fees is 1,500 rupees, that is to be paid online for application purpose. Yeah, this is very important. Scholarships. So if you look at the scholarships, you will understand that how much scholarship we are offering to out of this 24 students, 7 students are getting scholarship. So out of that, 2 students will get 100% scholarship. That means they did not pay a single paisa. So all 85,000 will be waived off from their fees. Then 75% scholarship for 1 student, 50% scholarship for 2 students, and 25% scholarship for 2 more students. And then there is also scholarship for the toppers, which top in their first year. That means those who get admitted to second year. So 2 students again get the scholarship. So we have a lot of collaborations and partnerships with various industries in and around Pune. So this is the end of the talk now. So if you have anything to ask, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vasi. It's interesting, the presentation, and a very useful presentation, and also people understand about what is industrial polymer chemistry program is all about. It's a very unique program, as I'm also in the rubber industry for a long time, and when I heard about this this program, I really excited. Wow, there is a special program on industrial polymer chemistry. Of course, you have a polymer chemistry, but you focus on industrial polymer chemistry. Are the students are mainly from Maharashtra or also from all over India? What's like?
Yeah, we are getting students from all over India. For example, we have students from Assam, Orissa, Rajasthan, then Delhi, So all over India, it's not, there's no restriction as such, and students are approaching us from all over India.
And is the industry approach you to develop this program, or it's a university initiation actually?
In fact, I will thank the industry that they approached us. 2 years back, when I had been to some exhibition, particularly rubber exhibition in Mumbai. So at that time, I came across so many people, and everybody was talking about the need of people, need of expert manpower in this area. So taking the cue from them, we started this, and one of the key person behind this is Mr. Vikram Makar, who supported very strongly. Apart from that, Sudhir Pitra is also there, and that's why they are there on our board, and they're always encouraging us.
It's nice, it's really good that industry is taking step forward and developing this curriculum. I think it's nice to know that you keep on updating the curriculum. That is important for the industry. Sometimes they have issues that, oh, it's old subjects, but not up to dated. I think that's you mentioned the every 3 months, I guess that's what you said, is it?
No, whenever is needed. So mostly it is every 3 months we have a trimester pattern. So as and when it is also like this, we have open elective. So that open elective can be offered by industry also. That is also very interesting. So industry provides us the course content, and we just offer it to our students, and the same industry recruits our students.
I take a permission from you, and I invited one of your students to come forward, talk about, this program, how he benefited. Mr. Abhishek, yeah. Please come forward and share your input on this program.
Good evening to everyone present over here. Myself Abhishek from MIT WPU, currently pursuing MSc IBC in the final year. So my experience till now in MIT WPU is really very good. Starting from the academic view, it's really the academic structure is well organized, and the curriculum prepared in here in this institution, it's really a industry ready program. And coming to the faculty, the teachers are very great. They are very helpful, and they cooperate us very well. And the most attractive thing about the college is that it's campus life. It's very beautiful, and the environment is really very good. And the college also offers different kinds of scholarship under different norms and conditions. As in the first year, I got Dr. Vishwanath, the scholarship named Dr. Vishwanath Merit Scholarship, and we also get to in different kinds of webinars, and soft skill sessions are being also performed for the interviews. And we also apart from the regular classes, we also used to give seminars, which helps us to develop the presentation skills. And I'm really thankful and I'm really thankful to the placement team because they are really great, because they approach very top recruiters such as Kingfa. That's all.
Okay. Thanks, Abhishek. I understand that your background is a biomedical, and then you choose to the industrial polymer. What makes you to change from biomedical to industrial polymer chemistry?
Yeah. To be very honest, from the school time, I was very fond of chemistry. After completing my graduation, I decided why not to go for to take chemistry. Why not to go for the higher education in chemistry? So for that purpose, I chose industrial polymer chemistry.
Okay, and I understand that you are a top scorer in the class. Is it right?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, well, congratulations, and then also you are the highest paid employee, already, yeah, and then from the campus placement. Is it right? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good. So, for the industries, what message you want to give it to the audience today, related to the program, so that they may come forward to hire the completed students, and also maybe some collaboration with the industry, and not only Pune, outside Pune. Any message to the audience?
I'd like to say that this is really one of the best colleges for this subject, especially because I am into this subject, and within a span of 1.5 years, I am being placed in a good MNC company, that is Kingfa, and it's really a industry-based, job-oriented program. So and overally, from taking from the academic point of view, faculties and infrastructures, you'll have a good type over here. So that's all.
Thank you, Abhishek. All the best to you for the future career and also studies. Okay, I wish you all the best. And also a special thanks to Dr. Vasi today you joined for this program and sharing about this unique master's degree MSc program in industrial polymer chemistry. Thank you, Dr. Vasi and Mr. Abhishek.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm also introducing another program for education section. It's a 360 degrees, an executive diploma for the rubber industry, technology and management. Let me quickly show you the video on this so that you get an idea what kind of program it is. This is offered by TechnoBiz. Okay, that's the program on the in rubber industry technology and management. This program, executive diploma program, is a very specialized program designed for the basically non-tire rubber industry. It's not for the tire industry people, for the non-tire rubber industry people. You can actually join, even while you're working, you can also join this program, and all the experts are international, well experienced, and so it's a very good program designed 360 degrees. The reason we put 360 degrees because we cover on the technology aspects of it and also management aspects of it. It's good for the technical people as well as the non-technical people, but you must have a few years experience in the rubber industry. We're not going to do it for students, but it's already people who are working in the industry. We are aiming for those people in the industry only, mainly. Okay, so if you're interested, you can reach out to me. Okay, now the next session is on the rubber industry research. For this session, we have a scientist, Dr. Amit Das, is from the Leibniz Institute for Polymer Research, based in Germany, Dresden. He'll be speaking about the sustainable and smart materials for rubber products. Dr. Amit, welcome to this program on the Rubber Industry NewsHour, and this we covering the research section. Okay, please let me open the file for you first.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank Peram for this initiative to include me in this program. So today I will be I'll be talking about some futures of rubber industry, particularly when we will be thinking about the sustainability and smart materials, how it will come in the rubber industry for future rubber products. So we are going through now in through an era. Going through an era of digitalization. For digitalization, we need to think about the data acquisition as well as automation. So how rubber industries can be benefited from such kind of approach. So that's why my field of research, I included such topics. For example, we are developing soft rubbers for soft robotic applications. In future, maybe you will not see any hard robot or mechanically equipped robot, but it should be comprised with soft elastomers like silicone rubbers. So we have projects on this issue. We are also developing sensors and actuators to integrate with such robotic segment so that we can operate the robot, we can have some motion to the robot. As well as we are working on adaptive materials, for example, in tire applications. So sometimes we need to change our tires, especially in winter. We need to have winter tire as well as summer tires. So each year we need to change them. So how the tire itself can be equipped with mechanically adaptive materials, we are also working for this kind of issues. And energy harvesting also one of the future issue or future area of rubber research. And finally, we are also taking care about the sustainability, because in future we will not get that much fossil fuel resource, so we have to rely on the renewable resource, as well as we have to think about the environmental issues like tire abraded particle, microplastics pollution to the environment, as well as we have to think about how the rubber product finally can be recycled. So these are the things what we are working on. And now I will talk about that. If we think about the future development in rubber research, we need to first include viscoelasticity. That means rubber are equipped with a perfect combination of viscous and elastic part. So if we include these two parts, then rubber is a perfect elastic material. And all the times we have to think that the elastic materials can be produced from different types of raw materials, and these raw materials should not interfere the uniqueness of rubber elasticity. So when we think about the sustainability, raw materials like natural rubber and alternative natural rubber could be the choice. In this case, lignin or cellulose can be used as a fillers, or vegetable oils can be used as a plasticizers. And when we think about the chemical for the rubber vulcanization, cysteine like amino acid, where we have sulfur in the molecular structure, this sulfur can be used as a vulcanizing ingredients. And also for antioxidant, biowax or lignin-based antioxidant would be the future choice of material. And you know, in every day, billions of tires rolling on the roads. And by this rolling, we are getting many microplastics, millions of tons each day, which is going back to the environment. And environment ultimately become polluted, and we may have some kind of health issues from this kind of microplastics. So this is also one of the major issue these days, and we need to think about how to get rid of such kind of problem from this microplastic. And recycling also would be the one of the solution for environmental friendly rubber compounds. So for example, we need to think how efficiently we can devulcanize a sulfur caustic rubber by suitable chemical like liquid gallium alloy, or maybe there is a new technique to devulcanize the rubber by disulfide metastasis type of reaction. And also we have to think about the integration of smart properties, like in tire application especially, we need to develop such the sensoric activity like pressure, temperature, wet or dry, icy or snow, the road surface characteristics, tire health, all kind of information we should gather from a tire. And I already told you that mechano-adaptive tires can be developed from new concept of tire designing or material designing. And finally, energy harvesting also could be one of the future issue. So in this presentation, I will show you only two kind of development what we have done so far. One is with respect to energy harvesting, and on another respect with environmental friendly tire compounds or rubber compounds. But in the literature, if you go through different literature, you can find hundreds or thousands of literature about the future material with graphene, CNTs, nanozinc oxides, nanosilicate LDs. But in my thinking, that this kind of material could be used as academic type of materials, not for the realistic purpose. So if one industry are interested to use such kind of material in the rubber product, it will be rather academic. But what is the future of future development in rubber industry? One can think about the new polymer systems and new type of networks. For example, HSBR, that is hydrogenated styrene butadiene rubber, can be used. Nitrile chloropropene copolymer can be used. Epoxy nitrile rubber, epichlorohydrin rubber. Such kind of new polymeric material will have a great future in a sustainable development of rubber compounds or rubber product. And also reversible network, I would like to talk about something about what is this reversible network. You know, in rubber, we are always having vulcanization, that is some kind of network structure establishment by heat and temperature, where we can get a network structures. So this network structure can be developed by alternative thinking like reversible network, where we can introduce some new concept where the network structure can be found or can be recycled or can be broken for recycling purpose. Coordination network would be also a future topic of rubber research. Recyclable TPE or polyurethane and 3D printing could be the future development in rubber research. So I told you that we will introduce two very important aspects or two important future of rubber technology, that is utilization of biomass like here lignin. We have used lignin as actually it is a byproduct of a paper industry, and this lignin can be used for development of tires or some kind of other rubber product. So in rubber we are trusting on silica and carbon black, but if you use lignin, you really can replace carbon black or silica with similar kind of performance. That means you will not lose any mechanical performance. You can keep the mechanical performance in the similar level, but you can get very sustainable type of rubber product. So we have developed some special mixing technique to use lignin in rubber compounds. And yes, if you want to know more about this, you can write me. Then we can also discuss how this lignin can be used in rubber compounds and so on. So yes, actually in our research we are not utilizing any kind of non-rubber material. All our rubber research are comprised with 100% elastomers, which is commercially available. For example, here we have developed a energy harvesting system which can be embedded in a tire. Actually, in Germany or in Europe, most of the tires are equipped with pressure sensors, that is TPMS system, tire pressure monitoring system. So this tire pressure monitoring system, you need to feed the energy by the use of battery. So when the battery life is done, then your sensors also will not be active. So what we have developed a small device. That device can be integrated on the tires, and if you roll the tires, you can get the energy to feed the energy to the sensors, which will be embedded in the tire system. Next slide. Yes, so what we have done, we have developed some kind of device, small device. It is also with 100% elastomers that can be staged and so on. And for demo, we have fabricated such a device into the tires to show that how this kind of tires can harvest energy during rotation. So yes, there is a video you can see. So yes, so basically it is showing you that if tire rotates, then you can get the energy, and that energy is sufficient to glow some LED bulb or lamp, which is embedded on the side wall of the tires. So this is just to demonstrate that our developed system, which is 100% comprised with commercial rubbers, can be used for fabrication of such type of smart energy harvesting system. And next, yes, so also we have done a durability test. So several cycles we can operate, but the performance is always remaining same because it is elastomers. And elastomers, you know, in dynamic condition, elastomers are the best choice to get good dynamic performance. So in this case also, we got very nice response with respect to energy output. And yes, so this is just to show you that our material is not for one time operation, but it can be used for several cyclic operations. And this is a video actually what has been done maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. It is all about the smart materials or smart elastomers, which is developed from bromobutyl rubber, and these rubbers we have modified by some special chemicals so that it can give you very nice self-healing effect. So practically this kind of rubbers you will not use in tires, but this is a proof of concept that this kind of material can be used to get a robust tires where the tire will perform you in a better way in terms of abrasion or other mechanical performance. So the video maybe can.
Few things can deflate a car driver as much as a flat tire. But what if all you had to do to fix a damaged tire was to let the car sit in the driveway for a while? A team of scientists from Germany has now developed a new type of rubber that can heal itself after a tear or puncture. Modern car tires consist of long strand-like molecules that are tangled and cross-linked. Manufacturers add sulfur to the rubber to give it durability while also maintaining elasticity. This process is called vulcanization. But when a tire is torn or pierced, say by a piece of glass on the street, the chemical bonds break and can't be patched up for long-term use. The tire becomes useless. The scientists from the Leibniz Institute for Polymer Research in Dresden, Germany, made the new type of rubber using a method that avoids vulcanization altogether. They modified commercial-grade rubber with a carbon and nitrogen additive to produce a highly elastic rubber that can reform its broken chemical bonds on its own and grow back together. The researchers say they found their rubber was at least as strong as conventional rubber. Scientists have attempted to develop self-healing rubber in the past, but many of the prototypes produced couldn't achieve long-term stability. This study's researchers say their tests have shown that the new type of rubber can heal itself at room temperature, so a car tire could fix itself while just sitting parked in a garage. Heating the material to 212 degrees Fahrenheit shortly after the cut made the rubber heal even faster, and after 8 days, the rubber was capable to withstand stress equivalent to 20 times the normal amount of pressure on a tire.
So finally, I'm coming to the last slide where I am showing some companies' logos to whom we have given service in last 1 decade or 15-16 years. Last 15-16 years, we are used to give service to this kind of companies. And yes, if you are interested to cooperate with us, you can write me, and then we can think about a possible cooperations. And thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Amit. Excellent presentation, and thank you for introducing the new materials, politically smart materials. I just like to have a few questions to you before I let you go. One is, you guys do any research outside Germany, collaboration with outside Germany or outside Europe, like in companies with Asia? Yeah.
Yes, we have collaborations with many universities and research institute. For example, we have collaborations with Thailand, Surat Thani University. Also, we have collaboration with Tampere, with Finland, and also IIT Kharagpur, and so on. We have many collaborations around the world. Yes, you are right.
And how about these smart materials that you mentioned? Are they going to be commercialized or utilized soon, near soon?
Actually, we are developing the concept out of the box thinking. For example, the reversible bond or the coordination bond is not introduced so far. People are always thinking about the sulfur vulcanization or peroxide vulcanization. And you know, in rubber science, actually, after Michelin invention of silica and silane technology, there is no such breakthrough. So we are trying to give new concept. For example, devulcanization. So we can use some kind of gallium, liquid gallium, indium material, where we can extract the sulfur linkage, and we get the pure rubber in the original form. So we have done also some patents on these issues. So we are trying to think in a different way. So new concept in rubber industry so that they can be benefited by such breakthrough research. Yes.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Amit, for joining this, NewsHour, rubber industry NewsHour, sharing your research work. Very useful. I hope to see you in the future sessions again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Param, for your kind invitation. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, we have a session now on the rubber industry business profiles. In this session, I introduce some companies, their offerings as a video. Let me show you the video on the Holdwell components who are supporting this rubber industry news server. They are one-stop solution for the all elastomer needs. Let me show you their corporate video about their products and services. Okay, and that's the presentation on Holdwell components. If you're interested in their service, please be in touch with them and their products. They're specialized in the various elastomeric products. Now we're into the one of the main highlights of the rubber industry news hour is the rubber industry tips and tricks. And as you may know, this is a special program, part of this special session, part of this program, which is giving an ideas and useful tips for the benefit of processing the rubber better, okay, and in a convenient manner. So in this session, we have Mr. E. Palanathan. Is probably many of you know, he is well experienced rubber technologist with more than 30 years experience in the rubber compounding and processing. He will be sharing some of the useful tips focusing on the FKM rubber compounding. So let's view the presentation on FKM rubber compounding tips and tricks.
Welcome to Rubber Industry Tips and Tricks. We are going to discuss on some tips and tricks in the rubber industry, especially regarding the FKM rubber compounding. See why we selected the FKM rubber. FKM rubber, there are a lot of, we have invented natural rubber some about 120 years before. We graduated various synthetic rubbers. The FKM occupies the one of the a premium position because of its very good heat resistance and also oil resistance. Today, in industry, the highest high temperature polymer or synthetic rubber is FKM. So the FKM has been introduced into the industry quite recently, and it is very well used in many of the applications wherever there is a high temperature and also oil resistance. So we will get into some of the tips and tricks because FKM being a bit expensive rubber and it has got some fluorine content. Because of the fluorine presence, it has got a very good heat resistance. It has got a slightly different curing systems when compared to the conventional dye-in rubbers. So let us get into some of the tips and tricks of this FKM compounding. The trick one is, say I given a word FKM, mixing order is a disaster. So you may be thinking, what is this man is telling? Some order and disaster. So in every compounding, there is always an order. They'll say the polymer, the rubber, zinc oxide, ingredients, fillers, oil, chemicals, etc. So in the case of FKM, there is all through some difference. While you're doing a mixing process, in the case of any rubber, any synthetic rubber or natural rubber, we have a sequence of addition of some chemicals, fillers, and process aids, etc. Whereas in the case of FKM, there is a bit difference. You may be asking, all along all the polymers, we are following some systems of sequence of addition. After mixing this, you add the other chemicals. Like this, some sequence is always strictly followed in other chemicals. Whereas in the case of FKM, it is totally reverse. It may be, maybe many of you may know it. The most interesting aspect is when you add the rubber, we only soften the rubber. There is no mastication because, as you know, the synthetic rubber does not call for any mastication. So we soften the rubber a little bit. And suppose you are using two different viscosity of rubber, you have to blend it. Then once you blend it, then all the ingredients, whatever the fillers, and as you all know, it is an inorganic cross-linking. When you do a cross-linking taking place in FKM, it is a chemical cross-linking, mostly like inorganic cross-linking is taking place. Because of that, there is always generation of gas. That gas is absorbed. Fluorine is gas is evolved. Hydrofluoric acid, HF is evolved, and it is absorbed by magnesium oxide and also by calcium hydroxide is activating this. So this is totally an inorganic reaction. In this, what we do, all the ingredients, we should not add sequentially. We should do some sort of a pre-blending. People may say, what is this pre-blending? In the pre-blending, we take all the ingredients, put in a polythene cover, blend it thoroughly inside, agglomerate by hand, we mix it together. Then we form the band. On the band, the mixture is added. You know, it is totally different from the rest of the other rubber mixing process. So if you do not do this, you will encounter various type of difficulties and fun this actually. Because over a period of time, we have done all this fun. Now that's been established. This may be looking very funny, but still some of even the FKM manufacturers recommend that you should do a pre-blending and add the chemical as a lump to the mill or the intermix. Why? Because there is always, because in the process, you have got a calcium hydroxide, you got a magnesium oxide. These are all the inorganic chemicals. Inorganic chemicals are highly polar. No, if you touch the inorganic chemical like magnesium oxide into the mill, there will be a sticking, will be very heavy. It will stick to the mill heavily. The magnesium oxide will stick to the mill. It will form a cake. It will form a white layer. That cake will become so strong, it will not come out and blend with rubber. So you will encounter severe problem if you add all the fillers first and then thinking that accelerators, calcium hydroxide, magnesium oxide being accelerated will add last. We will end up in the mixing with rubber, and there are a lot of patches of magnesium oxide sticking on the roll, and the magnesium oxide also will not get dispersed in the rubber. So the tip is here, pre-blending is the most important thing in the FKM. This particular pre-blending concept is not there in any other polymer. Since it's unique, I thought I will share this with all of you. Okay, so most important thing apart from this, there's other tricks called remilling. Probably maybe I will take it later. We'll go to the tip number 2. So here I'm just touching upon a material called Carnot Wax. All of you know it is the 18th century Carnot Wax, still a popular process aid additive. Why I call this? Because there is a lot of branding, lot of process aids, various types of process aids are there. Okay, so despite having various type of process aids, they're all good. We got a variety of process aids. Some are silicon based organosilicons, some are some stearate, high temperature stearates, some wax based. So many synthetic process aids are available, and still today as on date, this Carnot Wax occupies a very popular choice in the FKM compounding. This being very old, we should not neglect, because it has got a very tricky application. This Carnot Wax is highly temperature sensitive. Most of the paraffinic and the other waxes, once at 120 degrees, 140 degrees, the carbon-carbon chain materials will evaporate and it will decompose. All these things happen. Whereas, being a natural product, this is a Carnot Wax. It is being obtained from the palm trees, from the leaves and the other palm trees. It is a natural product. Even though it is a natural product, it has got a very good heat stability. You may be surprised. A Viton being used for a service condition of 200 degrees, we are using a natural product into this. It is very surprising. When you add this Carnot Wax, it has got a melting point of 86 to 90 degrees temperature. It very comfortably it will melt, and it will not, see, as you know, the process aid is a material which will not be compatible with the rubber. If anything you add to a polymer which is compatible, that means that material cannot work as a process aid. The material which will not be compatible to the rubber, so it will try to come out in between the polymer and the processing material, either mold or the mill. So that way, the Carnot Wax is an excellent process aid. In any FKM, even though it's a very old technology, still the Carnot Wax being used. I recommend any FKM manufacturer can use this Carnot Wax. It's a very excellent material, and it will also have a very good heat resistance. Even up to 200 degrees temperature, it will withstand. It will not degrade the original property. Only if the quantity is more than 1 pH or more than 2 pH, then only it will have some influence on the compression set property. So you have other process aids. Process aid promoted by many manufacturers. I did not have to spell out here the manufacturer. They're also good. So, but they're all complementary, and a combination of this Carnot Wax with the other wax is a unique solution to the FKM compound. So, even though people say old wax, this is called a queen wax. Why it is called queen wax? This Carnot Wax is derived from the palm tree. It is by and large used in a large application. Something like, for example, food industry. Suppose you see the chocolate, the shining of the chocolate. So you buy a gem chocolate eclairs, you see the shining. The shining comes from the Carnot Wax. The car polish, that is also having Carnot Wax. So wherever there is a shining product, and it's all food grade products also. Most of the Carnot Wax products also food grade products. That way, this particular unique product has got a lot of application in food. Apart from that, it does also have a unique application in the FKM. That particular Carnot Wax is not used in any other polymer. That's why I selected this wax thing. If you take one process additive, that can be used in polyacrylic, that can be used in FKM, that can be used in other polymers. Whereas the Carnot Wax, as on date, it is uniquely used in FKM, and we enjoy the benefit of the mill sticking problem, mold release, flow. All these problems are solved by using Carnot Wax. And in duplicating the properties of Carnot Wax, the synthetic rice bran oil wax also generated. Okay, that also people have started using, by which will come closer to the Carnot Wax. Still, the Carnot Wax tops the list in terms of the wax used in FKM industry. So this is my message to all of you with respect to FKM compound. So this is regarding the tip 2. Let's go to the tip 3. So here, this is regarding some molding. So because this is also, I have taken some unique approach in the FKM when compared to rest of the polymers, especially molding or calendering, etc. As you all know, the FKM is, so we always have, for FKM, the cross-linking temperature is slightly higher. Generally, a sulfur-based rubber will start casting at 140, 150 degrees temperature. Whereas in the case of FKM, we have to do the cross-linking at 170 degree plus. Many times what happened, these industries, they will maintain the temperature of the platen at 175 degrees temperature and say that we have maintained temperature 175 degrees, they'll say. But in true reality, the rubber or the FKM should encounter 170 degrees. It is not the patent temperature 110 degrees or the press temperature 120 degrees, or 170 degrees, sorry, 170 degrees. This many people will not understand this. They will not focus on the what is the temperature on the mold, because the mold is a moving object. They can't sense it properly. By mistake, nowadays people use the IR temperature, IR gun. The IR gun should be a last choice for testing the temperature, because IR concept is it senses the temperature based on reflection. Again, that reflection depends on the surface shining. If a mold is very shining, the same temperature will show, the same temperature in IR gun will show differently. Or if it is a dark object, the IR gun will show a different temperature. So the temperature is very, very important. So many FKM molding person, they will maintain the temperature 170. The mold temperature may be very, very low, maybe 165, 150 like that. Because of the low temperature, when you start molding the FKM, what will happen? Immediately the temperature is low. Immediately the rubber will stick to the mold. Whatever you do, if you do the molding at lower than the specified temperature, once the FKM stick to the mold, we have to discontinue that sample molding, and then we have to take out the mold and then do a thorough cleaning with cool the mold and clean with solvent, MEK, MIBK, and then only the rubber, the FKM will release from the mold. So such a difficulty is there, even though if you add some sort of a release agent, semi-permanent mold release agent, etc. So it's always better. Why I want to confirm, when you are starting the FKM manufacture, always start from high temperature. All polymers, you always start with the lower temperature and go to high temperature and optimize the temperature on time. Here in this case, we must start with a higher temperature. Obviously, when you do an FKM, when you start with high temperature, there are also some problems will come. There may be some tear will take place, a thick flash may come, rubber may not flow fully. But still, our starting should be at a high temperature and slowly reduce the temperature to the optimum temperature. This is a very important starting point or clue for any of the person who has not handled the FKM. By mistake, if they go with the lower temperature to upper temperature, they will encounter a severe problem, and it will discourage them very badly. Otherwise, once you understand this approach methodology, trick 1 and trick 2 and trick 3, and you will feel you can handle the FKM also comfortably. Even though it's a very expensive, very high density, we can handle FKM. FKM is synthetic rubber. The curing rate can be very nicely designed by the magnesium oxide, calcium hydroxide. Today we are getting accelerators like phosphorium salt and other accelerators incorporated. Bisphenol and phosphorium salt incorporated rubbers, we are getting it. We also are getting a different grades, high fast curing grade, slow curing grade, and also for the extrusion grades, depending on the proportion of the accelerators, bisphenols and phosphonimols. In the case of bisphenol grade, in the case of peroxide grade, also we can use a different peroxides, and the peroxide concentration and also the coagent selection also very important in deciding. So this is what I want to talk to you as a starting point for the 3 tricks. We have other tips and approaches in the FKM also available. For these sessions, I limit up to these 3 tricks. We will see the other tricks in the next sessions to come in. Okay.
Okay, that's the tricks on the FKM rubber compounding. Thank you very much, Mr. E. Palanathan, for contributing the tips and tricks session today on the FKM rubber compounding. Guys, that's I'm hoping that useful to you. We are into the last part of this session today. It's on the rubber industry opportunities. So basically in this session, we cover what kind of jobs available or any other business opportunities. Today, I have collected some useful information. Maybe some of you or colleagues of you or any of your friends might benefit. Let's have a look at it. Okay, this is Saga Elastomers. They're looking for the people, technical sales. Okay, you may check the details about their jobs, and you can write to the Mr. Parinth this job. Anybody interested or anybody looking for a job, you can share this information. There is another company, Clark Rubber Limited. They're actually in the rubber products and cow mat. They're looking for a techno-commercial team member with experience in the cow mat. So they're based in Wada in Maharashtra. There's an opportunity. If anybody interested, you can reach out to Mr. Pankaj Gathani. And this is some my collector from the my connections through the LinkedIn. There is an opportunity in the Top Glow in Malaysia. You can check the details, and Mr. Ahmad Firdas, his posting is there, so you can check the details from his posting. And there is other company, VK Tire India. They're looking for technical head. So with 10 to 15 years experience, we would be interested to reach out to Mr. VK Ohori, and for the additional information, I'll send your CV to them. And also Ralston India, they're looking for a people maintenance manager. I see them, Ralston has been asking a number of positions lately, so you keep on checking their whether their sites. Ralston, they're recruiting a lot of people. I'm coming across many positions on regular basis, so check the Ralston India for any available positions there. Today, what I'm proposing here is the maintenance manager. And also there is for the PhD student who completed, there is an opportunity at the Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology. They are looking for the postdoctoral position, the vitamin synthesis and formulation. You can check this link for more details, who can apply. And so that's what I have for this session today. I'm hoping that you find it useful. That's the end of this, officially end of this session on the rubber industry NewsHour. As you know, this is every Monday we organize this session. I'm really hoping that you find it useful. If you have any comments, I welcome your comments and suggestions on this rubber industry NewsHour. As I mentioned, it's purely focused on the developments and happenings in the rubber industry. I'm trying to cover various aspects of the rubber industry. Okay, you can always check our this program. This session will be available in the TechnoBiz channel, YouTube channel. You can check it out tomorrow onwards, and you can view it. What are the subjects you want to view it again? As you know, we have covered on the NR market review. We have education aspect, and we have research aspect. We also have tips and tricks. So there are, and I think each of you have a different interest. So you may like to view it again. You can always do it at our YouTube channel, the TechnoBiz channel. Okay, guys. In any assistance you need, you know how to reach me. This is my contact. I think most of you have my contact in my WhatsApp groups or Facebook group or LinkedIn page. Thank you for supporting this program, and very positive response. I keep on improving it. I welcome your suggestion and comments. I hope to see you in the next week at same time, and not the same time, on that 9:30 Singapore time, 7 p.m. India time, and 8:30. So we have changed the schedules from past. We did at 4 p.m. Now we moved to the 4 p.m. India. Now is 7 p.m. India, for the sake of the many other country participants are joining for this program, Rubber Industry NewsHour. I really hope that you find it useful. I see you next week. Thank you all. Bye bye for now.